morning. I'm Chief Annie Smith, Chief of Detectives for the Jacksonville Sheriff's Office. This morning at approximately 3:15 a.m., two officers were en route to the 5700 block of Lenox Avenue responding to a Priority 1 suicide attempt. The officers were westbound on Wilson Boulevard with their emergency equipment activated when Officer Kromarsik's vehicle, which is the vehicle you see behind me, entered the intersection. A motorcycle that was traveling southbound on Jamies Road impacted his vehicle on the passenger side, and unfortunately the driver of the motorcycle was killed at the scene. The officer was also transported. He was unconscious initially. He was transported to UF Health. He is at the hospital at this time.
And what's his condition now?
The last I've heard, he's still in the hospital. His injuries, I don't believe, are serious, but they're keeping him just to make sure.
Are you all investigating the accident yourselves?
Absolutely. As our normal protocol, we investigate the traffic crash. They're out there measuring right now. They'll be here for quite some time, getting all of the details, and we'll know after they pull the information from both. Well, I don't know about motorcycles, but for the JSO vehicle, there'll be information about the emergency equipment, when the brakes were applied, and all of that.
Even though that it involved a police cruiser, it's still appropriate to investigate your own accident?
Yes, we investigate our own police-involved shootings, so we investigate our own traffic crashes also.
You said they were responding to another incident.
Yes.
Did they have lights and sirens on?
The information that we received from the witness officer who was traveling behind the involved officer about a quarter of a mile behind did indicate that they both had their lights and siren activated at the time. However, that will all be determined later once we pull the information from the vehicle to determine exactly what was on, what was off, when the brakes were applied, the speeds, and all of that information.
Any information on the person who died in this accident?
At this time, no. The medical examiner has just arrived at the scene. He is still at the scene, and the medical examiner will take custody of the body at this time.
So you have a black box type of device in the car that will tell you everything that happened?
The traffic homicide detectives will be able to obtain all that information from our JSO cruiser.
Were there any other witnesses besides the other officer?
There was another motorcycle that was following behind the involved motorcyclist, and so those two witnesses have been questioned by police also.
Can you tell us one more time which direction everybody was traveling?
From what I understand, the two officers were traveling westbound on Wilson Boulevard, and the motorcyclists were traveling southbound on Jamies Road.
What's your next step?
We'll be here for a while, taking all the measurements like we do for any other traffic fatality, and then as soon as we can, we'll open up the road. And when I have any additional information about the emergency equipment, the status of the officer, and whether or not alcohol was a factor in this crash, I'll certainly let you know.
Did the officers have a green or red light, or you're not sure yet?
We're not sure at this time. We have conflicting information from different people, so we'll be able to determine that afterwards.
Is there a restriction at all on the officers? I mean, obviously one's in the hospital, but the other officer in the vehicle?
What do you mean?
In terms of staying off duty until things are...
He was not involved in the crash,
okay.
So he won't be.
All right. Thank you, Chief.
Thank you.